Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we are making one of my absolute favorite snacks, desserts, whatever you want to call it. It's the recipe for chocolate chip cookies. So we have all the ingredients here. I'll show you right here. We have our butter, our sugars, our flours, everything you need for chocolate chip cookies. I'm gonna go through this recipe. It's actually pretty simple. Just some of the ingredients may be hard to find in your country or where you live. So we're gonna get started, okay? So we're gonna start off with our bread flour and our all-purpose flour. Bread flour is the same as strong white bread flour. I have some here. I use Aldum's. I talked a bit about that flour in my hot cross bun recipe. So yeah, wherever you find it, you can use it, and all the ingredients to this recipe will be in the description box below. So we have our 2 flours going into the bowl, and I forgot to sift that. Okay, we'll go again. Okay, so we have our 2 flours, and we're gonna put them through a sieve. I'm gonna sift them through, along with 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda or bicarbonate of soda. Okay, so those are our flours. So I'm going to set that aside. Those are our dry ingredients. So now we're going to move on to the butter, which is one of the most important and key ingredients to this recipe. So here I have 250 grams of soft, unsalted butter. It could be frozen, it could be cold, because we're going to melt it and brown it. We're going to take it a step further like that. So browning it is just going to create a delicious smell and taste in your chocolate chip cookies. So I have a saucepan here, and I'm gonna move over to my stove in a second and turn the camera. And basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna melt this like you would usually melt butter for a couple of minutes on a low fire thingy-mabob. So I'm gonna move here. So here's my butter on the hob. It's melting away, as you can see. So by creating brown butter, we're just gonna let this melt, and then you'll see some like these brown little bits forming at the bottom, and you're just gonna keep on stirring. Really, there's not much can go wrong except that the butter will burn, which we don't want. So keep it on a pretty low to a bit of a medium heat. So yeah, I'm gonna wait, and then I'm gonna show you what it would look like when it's starting to brown. So this is our butter. It's doing great. I've put my butter on the lowest heat, so just give it a stir every now and then. We're gonna move on to the rest of the ingredients. Just keep an eye on the butter. Don't go and do your nails or anything. So in another big bowl, I'm going to add my 2 sugars. So I have a mixture of dark brown sugar and caster sugar. I'm gonna pop that in. This is my stand mixer bowl, as we're gonna be mixing this together. And I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of coffee or espresso powder. You can also use that. So that's my brown butter over here. It's not burned. Make sure you don't burn it, because that's not good. So since while it was melting and browning, some of the water has evaporated, so we're gonna add some room temperature water, just a tiny bit, until we reach a 1/4 liter. So almost there. And I've put it into this measuring jug just to increase the speed of cooling the butter. So now that the butter has cooled, we are going to add it to our sugar mixture. And I'm going to pop that onto my freestanding mixer. You could also use an electric hand whisk. And I'm going to put that on a low to medium speed for a couple of minutes. So now that all of those ingredients are combined, I'm going to stop this for a second. And I'm going to add in my whole egg and 1 egg yolk. I've separated those. So I'm adding an extra egg yolk instead of another whole egg, just because it tends for like a fudgier cookie if that's what you like. But still, follow the recipe. So we are almost at the chocolate part, but we're going to add this flour in about 3 times, so thirds. Gonna try, just because you don't want all the flour to go all over your kitchen all at once. And I'm gonna put that on a pretty low speed. Okay, so for the final 1/3 of the flour. We're gonna give that a couple of seconds. And it doesn't have to be all mixed in because at this point we're gonna add the chocolate. And we can finish folding in all of the flour. So as you can see, that's not all fully mixed in. We can just fold that in with a spatula. Okay, so before adding the chocolate and mixing in the rest of the flour, I'm just gonna get a good scrape down the sides, because especially with a stand mixer, this will happen a lot. So we're gonna add our chocolate. I'm using only dark chocolate chunks. Now, I know this is called a chocolate chip cookie, but I will not follow the rules today. I prefer using only dark chocolate chunks. They're bigger, and you have these like bigger pockets of chocolate, and I just think it's better than adding these small chocolate chips. So I'm gonna add about 1.5 cups. I'm gonna start with a cup, see where I'm at, and then if I need to add more, you can add more. Okay, so I've cut up a bit more chocolate chunks, just because you can never have enough chocolate. And I'm gonna give this a mix. I'm just gonna actually show you how our mixture is looking from here, because you probably haven't seen it that much. So I'm gonna give this one final stir, make sure everything at the bottom gets incorporated, and scraping down the sides of the bowl. And now we're gonna make these into our cookies. Now we're on the fun bit. We're gonna make these cookies, and you have two options for this. You can either bake them straight away, or you can freeze them overnight or put them in the fridge, just to get a bit better results. And also, if you're not in a rush like I am, you can put them in the fridge. So you know, no one's gonna blame you or make fun of you for baking them now. I've done that many times. Just here, I have time to freeze them. So I'm actually using an ice cream scoop. Now, if you don't have these, I've actually done these cookies, like the shapes, with my hands before, and it works just as well. Just the ice cream scooper works better for making all the cookies the same exact size. So I'm gonna put these on a board, on a cutting board first, and then we're gonna put them in my Tupperware container and into the fridge. So I have some of my cookies here. There's still some more batter left, so I'm gonna roll that in a sec. I'm gonna shape these into more of like ball size, and I'm gonna place them inside the Tupperware container. So they might stick a bit while in the freezer or fridge, but it's completely fine. They unstick really easily. So just rolling them together and stacking them on top of each other. Okay guys, so I have my cookies here in my airtight container, and next time I'll see you will be tomorrow, and we're gonna bake them. I'm gonna show you how to do that. So yeah, put this in the fridge, have a cup of tea, and I will see you all tomorrow. Okay guys, so we're back after 24 hours, and I'm ready to bake these cookies. So I have them in my Tupperware container. I suggest taking them out a bit earlier before you're gonna bake them, because that's gonna decrease the amount of time you're gonna make them. I took them out when I started preheating the oven, so that's preheated. They're melted down now. I have 4 cookies here. I'm gonna bake 4 at a time on 2 sheets. So I've lined my baking tray with some greaseproof paper. Well, I don't have that, so I'm actually using this mat. It's like a baking sheet mat, works the same. I just ran out of greaseproof paper. So we're gonna bake that for 12 to 14 minutes. So I'm gonna put that in at a temperature of 180 degrees Celsius, fan assisted. For 12 minutes, I'm gonna check them there, and then if they need more, we will continue to bake them for a further 2 minutes. Okay guys, so these cookies have been baking for a total of 13 minutes. And they look amazing. So now I'm just gonna let them cool for a couple of minutes on the baking tray, and then I'm gonna take like this thing, sort of like a spatula here, and I'm gonna put them on my cooling rack. So for now, I'm gonna put in my next 4 cookies. Cookies are ready. They have come out of the oven. I have lightly salted them, and I think you should do so too. It adds a ton more flavor, and I do call these my chocolate chip salted, lightly salted cookies. So I'm gonna crack one open. This is straight out of the oven. I have my glass of milk here. Now I'm gonna speed this up because I have somewhere to be. Okay, still a bit soft, how I like them. My God, would you just look at that? packets of chocolate, okay? I'm telling you. Now, I am planning on one day getting a recipe out to you guys of the same cookies. I'll do multiple tests, but with peanut butter. I think that would make for a very interesting flavor with the chocolate, because, you know, melted peanut butter, we love that. So, the chocolate, perfect. So deliciously melted. Those tiny pieces of salt, sea salt, makes them even better. And then you just wash it all down with a glass of milk. So I'm gonna keep on munching this, then I'm gonna do a 10-minute ab workout. I will see you all in the next video. Hopefully it's one of my signatures this time, because, you know, I've been making these for some time, but something that I want to share with you guys is my lemon drizzle recipe, which is absolutely delicious. Thank you for watching my last two videos. I saw that my hot cross bun video, after a couple of days, had 22 views, or was it a week maybe? I don't know, but girl, it had many views. So thank you to y'all for subscribing, for following, for liking, for watching my videos. It's really cool. And I just started my YouTube channel. So thank you for all the amazing support, and I'm gonna end this video with a cookie bite.